Welcome back, ladies and germs. Today I have a little update, and I have a very simple concept that I thought of kind of randomly. It's Skylanders tanks. Not necessarily just Skylanders tanks. I mean, they could be any other, you could call them any other just type of tank, but the idea came through to me. I was thinking of Skylanders, a commercial came on, but yeah. So, update, I didn't post like I said last week because I left early in the morning, and I'm back now. And yes, so what I have, I will get into it. It's very simple, basically. I forgot to fix that. I'll have to. Yeah. So you come into it. Oh, I need to take that. So you come into it, and you see it's just like a regular tank. And we right click, it shoots some TNT, and you see the only difference is we can turn. It is a little bit glitchy with the turning. Sometimes you go down and then you pop back up, but yes. So it's very simple. I'm going to show you the shooting again. So shoot that way, and I can shoot that way. And yes, so it's pretty simple. I mean, it was more the cloning that took time, but yeah. So let's get started. As most contraptions, we have a simple repeater clock, and I would have chosen a command block, I guess ultra clock, but that was really lagging me because I already had two other clocks right here. Those used to be really fast clocks too, but. So yeah, so we're going to start with the shooting, or no, this is the moving. That's the shooting. And so what we have is, this is a command block testing for a block of stained hardened clay at these coordinates, and those coordinates are right here. And you see, if it does find it, and you are in these coordinates, and you are also looking from -42 to 43, which is from that corner of the block to that corner of the block. When you're standing on that block, it's going to move it from this direction to that direction. Now, the reason I added that first one, testing for stained clay, is if it wasn't just testing for that, then every time you got on here and you were facing that way, it was going to teleport you and fill and clone it without you having to look from this way to this way. I mean, if you get that. But yeah. So it's testing for that block, and then it's testing if you're looking in that direction. And if you are, next it's going to fill the whole tank with air. Whew. And then clone this tank over here, this sideways tank, right to those coordinates, which is the same seated position. So you're always going to stay in the seat, but it's going to move. And it's going to teleport you 5 blocks in the air, and you're looking position 5 blocks up, or 0.5 up. And finally, it's going to set a block. That was one of the main things that wasn't working. It just wouldn't. It kept not placing the piston extension every time you'd right-click it. So you see, you right-click it, and it's going to shoot that. But previously, it wasn't putting that. It would just disappear. And I had a command block set up to do it, but it just wouldn't work. But it seems to work now. So yeah, it's setting that piston extension, and that's basically the same thing for this one, only it's the opposite. It's testing for stained hardened clay on that side, and you're looking direction that way, and it's the same thing. So yeah, that's the first part. And next we have these two sections, which are also pretty much the same. Basically, we have this clock constantly powering both of these, which is testing for a block of stained hardened clay on the tip of the thing again, which should be, if it's 759, yeah, this side is facing this way, and that side is facing this way, if that made any sense whatsoever. Yeah, so if the output is correct, I guess, then it's going to turn off this torch, which is going to start this hopper clock, and it's constantly powering this command block, which is testing for air on this side, and if there is, it's going to set block Minecraft piston extension right back where it was originally, right there. Then it's going to execute to a player in those coordinates and set a block of piston extension. I don't know why. Do I have that twice? Yeah, I have that twice. I don't know why I have it executing. I will remove that and see if it works later. And then it's summoning FallingSand to the tip of the cannon, depending on which way it's facing. In this case, it's right there. And it's TileID of 46, which is TNT, at a time of 1, and then a motion of 1.1, 0, and 0. And 1.1 would just be in that direction, in the positive X direction. And then next, after a few ticks, it is setting a block where the TNT lands and replacing it with air and destroying it. And then here it's summoning a creeper right on top of the TNT, so it looks like it exploded, which is ignited with a fuse of 0. And then finally, this is playing a sound of random.explode to every player, starting from this command block at the sound of 1,000, at a volume of 1,000. And then the same thing for this side, only it's pretty much the opposite. It's testing for a block of hardened clay on that tip, and if there is one, it's going to turn that on, and then turn this hopper clock on. Test for block of air that way. So if it's, I had some problems with differentiation depending on which way it was facing, whether it was that way or that way. And I fixed that by testing for air and stained clay. Previously, it just wasn't working the way I had it, so I changed that. But anyway, test for block air, and then piston extension, executing to a player, putting piston extension, and then summoning the FallingSand with a motion of 1.1 again, and a TileID of 46. So instead of going that way, it's going that way, in the positive Z direction. Finally, after a few ticks, same thing, destroying the TNT, playing sound random.explode, and summoning a creeper on top of the TNT. So, I mean, I guess somewhat simple. It took me a while to get it right because, it just wasn't working. It wasn't differentiating between which way the tank was facing. It was shooting that way when it was facing that way, and shooting that way when it was facing that way, and vice versa. It was doing it right and wrong. So I got that fixed, and that's probably what took me the most time, but I got it, and there it was. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you learned something, and hope you enjoyed.